Today I am going to do a flip through of some of my old unfinished sketchbooks. So I've got a big pile here and some have a couple of pages, some have more. The reason why I haven't finished all of these is either I just got another sketchbook or I didn't like the paper, but there's still some art on some of the pages. I can't actually remember what's on a lot of them, so this will be a surprise for you and for me. So the first one is this big one. This is a Diane Reevy sketchbook. I'll post links where I can for all the supplies for everything. And I got this because I really wanted a square sketchbook, but actually I predominantly work in watercolour and ink, and I found that ink didn't sit on the pages very nicely. So it's a lovely big journal. I love this envelope it's got here, and it lays flat, but the paper just wasn't right for me. So here we've got the first two pages, and I actually really like how this turned out, but this side I had a lot of trouble. I started with ink originally and had to do acrylic over the top, and that's when I realised this probably wouldn't work very well as an everyday sketchbook. And this is done in acrylics. This was an art journaling spread. I think this was from an online art journal party I took part in, and I actually really like how this turned out. For taking acrylics and collage, this is a brilliant journal, and I probably will use it again. I just haven't used it for several months now. You can hear everything sticks together quite a lot too. This was actually a study for what became one of my tarot cards. I wanted to get like the deer skull on the girl's head. Just a random paint over collage I did. I think I was going to journal on this side and I just never got round to it. I don't really like how this page turned out. I think her nose looks a bit weird, but yeah, I think you shouldn't pressure yourself when you're working in sketchbooks or art journals. It's just a place to play and experiment. And yeah, that's the last, so quite a lot left of this one. I think actually I'll use this more for acrylic and collage work because I do like it. And then next up, this is a mini Moleskine. It's just a little sketchbook. I think I picked it up at an airport. And I don't think I've done a lot in here. Oh yeah, so this is the first page, and this is watercolour, but it's really not, the paper's so thin, it's not meant to be used for watercolour, and I think that's probably why I haven't used it so much. And you can see it bleeds through and warps the paper a lot. Little study of a St. John's Wort's flower. And then I started using this for Mermaid, which is an Instagram challenge in May where you draw a mermaid every day, and I think it's just too small for the work I was doing in it. So I'm not mad keen on these illustrations. I think really if I was going to pick this up and use it again, I'd just use it for taking notes. And that's that for that one. So really not a lot at all, and I don't think I'm going to create much more art in this one, if I'm honest. Now this journal I actually love. I got it from an art shop in London, and I'm going to say the name wrong. It's L. Corneliuson and Son, but the paper inside it is Cardi paper, which I really love. It's some of my favourite paper to work on, and it's cotton, and it's really beautiful texture, and I love the torn edges. It's very, see, it's got a lovely texture there, and I actually do intend to use this again. I use this mostly for intuitive art journaling, so hopefully there's nothing too private inside. Let's have a look. And this I mostly used with ink play and collage. There's a bit of glare there. I really love how these pages turned out. They're quite simple, just capturing the feelings I was feeling at the time. It says, "Your dream has a soul," which I think is a lovely quote. And I've used a lot of my metallic paints in this, so that's why you can't see it too clearly. And then just cutouts from magazines. And I think that's it. Yeah, so not too much again in this one, but I am gonna pick this up and use it again one day, because I do, and actually looking through it has reminded me how much I love the papers. This mountain picture is just something I stuck on. It's actually a plain cover, and there's the brand. I'd highly recommend this. I think they come in different sizes as well, but I like how it's quite an unusual size and shape for a sketchbook. This I got from Amazon, and it's leather and it's made with sustainable materials, and I bought it because the company also, it's a charity and it provides work for women in India, and I thought it was a really lovely design. I really like all the, you've got so much paper, but the reason I didn't use it is it just doesn't take wet media very well. I think this is actually more of a writing journal, but it's so beautiful. It's almost like a piece of art on its own. So I know I haven't done a lot in here, but I've done a few bits. And this is with watercolour and ink. All the pages are stuck together. Don't tear, don't tear. This is gold leaf. It's sort of the glue's kind of stuck everywhere. But I had to gesso every page if I want to do wet media, and that's too much effort for me. This is a great quote, I love this. And this comes from, you know, putting too much pressure on yourself and not actually doing the thing that you want to do or be. So, you know, if you want to be an artist, that's a noun. Actually, by making art and, you know, creating, the verb, you are being an artist. So I just thought it was a great reminder. I'm not sure what's happened here. Oh, this I drew when I was at an art fair, passing the time on my lonely solo stall. And then I think that's it. So it's a beautiful journal. It doesn't hold the media I use well enough, so it's just sits on my shelf looking pretty now. But I love this design, this Tree of Life design. Very lovely details. And then the last one is Moleskine. Oh, bless me. All my old books are really dusty. And I think this is just a watercolour. Yeah, landscape watercolour. So, and this is a couple of years old. Because I remember I did, yeah, Venice 2016, I did some landscapes, and then I never really used this, so I decided to just use it to keep swatches of things, which is a bit boring, but good to have. I think this was just testing out different browns for trees or something, and then this is a swatch of my Derwent watercolour pencils. These are all the acrylic golds I have. Oh, this was inspired by the Brothers Grimm fairy tale, 12 Brothers, I think. And then I did that in an ink version. And this was for, this was April last year for another Instagram challenge. I actually really like how those lilies turned out. It's Some more swatches, some sketches, and then the ink version. This is the witches from the craft. Slightly cartoony version of the main character from Crimson Peak, one of my favourite films. This is from Kiki's Delivery Service. I love this whole scene when Ursula talks about, you know, taking time for yourself to get back to your passion or your thing that you love. Stop trying, take long walks, look at scenery, doze off at noon, don't even think about flying, and then pretty soon you'll be flying again. And I just thought that was beautiful, and this is inspired by Ursula's painting in the film. If you haven't seen Kiki's Delivery Service, I'd highly recommend watching it. It's a really good film. And then I didn't really like this. It's a bit too cartoony. I always struggle with ink, just ink lining. It always makes things too cartoony, so I think I'm going to stop using black so much and try different colours. She looks a bit Viking-y, not sure. And I think that's it. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this little mini tour of all my abandoned journals and sketchbooks. If you practice art yourself, I'm sure you have the same sort of thing. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more art and journaling content on my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye!